Back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. We're live in Atlanta. All of our Super Bowl coverage brought to you by our friends at Lightbridge Health Sports Medicine Institute. Sal Paolantonio with the Philly special. Man, I've been trying to get you on for 9 months. You know how many Eagles fans I know? I mean, where I live, I found that last year. When I got out of the parade, how many people wanted confetti that I grabbed off the field last year? You know?
The Eagles fans are great, man. They're fantastic. They travel so well. They're so passionate, and they really supported me over 25 years of covering the team, and it was a fantastic ride last year. So interesting, so challenging. I really do think, and pardon me for using this term, I think the Eagles became America's team in many ways because they were embraced as the ultimate underdogs. They overcame so many challenges, the loss of their starting quarterback, the loss of their middle linebacker, the loss of the best special teams players, and they had to go beat Tom Brady with a backup quarterback in Super Bowl 52. So it was a tremendous story. I was honored to be in a position to write this book, and the book is really the biography of a love affair between a fan base and a team, a biography of the team and its players, and inside stories week to week. You know, it was the #1 football book in America on Amazon.com for 4 straight months. So I'm really happy with the way the book came out.
Well, I tell you what, I did one after the Ravens won, and you don't know that you're going to write a book until they actually win, right? I mean, at what point did it strike you? You're a writer. I mean, I feel like I'm a writer.
So-called writer.
Well, but I mean, you're famous for the glasses and TV and freezing and parkas and all that. But at heart, you're a Philadelphia sports writer. At heart, I'm a Baltimore sports writer. So when you get a chance to write this kind of a story, that's how I felt about it. I didn't have time to drop 100 Days of My Life after they won 7 years ago, but I felt like I almost have to tell the story, and I'm sure that's part of.
I'll tell you,
you don't do this without having it in your veins.
So
right?
my wife and I go to Florida after the Super Bowl every year to celebrate Valentine's Day and our anniversary in February. And I had the book contract.
And you were preoccupied.
No, I had the book contract, and I had the check that they had sent me, and I woke up in Delray Beach in the middle of the night. I said, honey, I'm not writing this book. There's no way I can go home. I just covered this team wall to wall. I just put in, 20-hour days every single day for 27 weeks straight. I'm spent. And she goes, all right, fine. Let Mike Missinelli write it. Let Angela. She came right.
See, everybody. I just tweeted about how lazy the people in Baltimore. Nobody else was going to write the book because it's not.
She goes. She guilt me into it. She's like somebody. You know what? That's fine. Somebody else's
competitive anger.
Somebody else's name will be on that book.
Oh, I've seen the dark side of you, Sal. You're a competitive dude. I mean, right? I mean, like when it comes down to it, you want to get this thing right. You wanted this to be.
That's the bottom line.
There might have been 5 other books. Everybody might have written a book, but
I wanted this book to last forever. I wanted this to be the definitive story about the team that I've dedicated 25 years of my life to it. And you got to remember too, when you cover a football team, as you know, you miss a lot of Saturday nights, a lot of Sunday afternoons with your family, a lot of time where you're telling your friends, hey, listen, I got a game to cover. So they have to support that aspect of your life, which is a big part of it. So I wrote this book for them because they're all Eagles fans. I'm not. I grew up in New York. I'm a fan of the best story. The Eagles have been the best story for me. But I wrote this book for them because of the shared sacrifice and the support that they gave me. So this was truly a labor of love. I'm super happy with the way it turned out. And sometimes, a title of a book, you pick it. In this case, it picked me because it was obvious. Philly Special was an obvious title for the book.
Well, you said we America's team and all. You're always America's team when you're trying to beat Tom Brady. That's where the Rams are America's team this week.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. They're not doing it with their backup quarterback, and they don't have the national following. They don't even have the national following of the Baltimore Ravens, cuz they don't.
Oh, I'm not. I'm saying the Chargers would have been worse. I mean, can you imagine a Chargers-Rams?
So the Rams may get there, but they're not there yet. I mean, when the Eagles went out last year, the Sunday that Carson got hurt, there were 30,000 Eagles fans in that stadium. I mean, they took over that stadium. It was like giving out free pizza on Broad Street.
Well, this is something that speaks to your book, I think, and to the fan base and to the rabidity. I was an Eagles season ticket holder during the Buddy Ryan administration because I didn't have a football team. So, every Sunday morning we drove up to the to Passy-Yunk to the Penrose Diner. I walked past what is now the complex, which was then like some sort of armed force thing. That place on Patterson Avenue. What was that? The years I walked, like an armory for years, right?
It was an armory.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. 1987. So all of these years, and sitting up in 721 and seeing the Richie Kotite era, and then seeing all that Andy did to get it where. I mean, you've watched all of this happen. What made this thing? What was the defining moment? What was the turning point for this thing? Hiring Peter? I mean, you tell me.
I think it was hiring Peterson. I think, Peterson doesn't get enough credit for what he did. Everybody says that Sean McVay is going to be a genius for beating Bill Belichick. He's the next boy genius coach. Doug Peterson already been there, done that. He's already beaten, and he went to Chicago and beat the Bears when Sean McVay couldn't do that. And he went out to L.A. and he beat the Rams twice with a backup quarterback. So I think Peterson, honestly, and that's why Peterson's on the back cover of this book. There we are after Super Bowl 52.
Well, two words: emotional intelligence. When I think of Lurie, and I think of the story of Chip Kelly,
Doug's a great
and I think of the
men.
Christmas, the stories that came out of there, that they needed someone with emotional intelligence, and that's really a difficult thing to maybe get across to Eagles fans in the upper deck.
Doug's a great leader of men, and Doug is a smart coach. He's a great leader of young men.
Go for it. I know Luke wants to talk some Joe Flacco and stuff like that with you.
I wanted to talk Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
Sal,
fair enough.
I mean, obviously
Sure.
the Ravens.
The future, not the past.
In a major transition time, new general manager, new offensive coordinator, and new starting quarterback. So your early impressions of Lamar, I know you guys have covered it quite a bit on NFL Matchup, my favorite show on ESPN.
Right.
Want to give you some love there.
I would say Lamar Jackson so far limited. I would say Lamar Jackson so far not the complete quarterback that you need to have in the NFL to win at the highest possible levels. Once again, this year the Ravens' defense was absolutely, totally lights out. Their offensive line was a significant improvement, but the bottom line is you have to have a quarterback who can pass your way out of trouble, and he's not there yet. You have to have a quarterback who can pass, not run, pass your way out of problems. Move the chains in the red zone, hit deep plays. Those are the things, explosive plays. And for lack of a better term, I thought the Chargers exposed him. So he's not there yet. And everybody wants to dump on Joe. Hey, man, come on now. Joe, 9 touchdown passes, no interceptions, won the first that Super Bowl like that. I mean, that was incredible. Joe played so good. He played so good. When they blocked for him, and he had good wide receivers, and he could run the football. Joe Flacco still has championship football left in him.
You believe that? You believe we're going to be sitting under Joe Flacco one of these years, next couple, 3-4 years?
If he's given the right support. I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it about John Harbaugh too. John Harbaugh still has championship football left in him as a coach. Joe Flacco does too. At one point, we may say the same thing about Lamar Jackson. I'm not ready to say that yet about Lamar Jackson.
It's amazing how many people have sat in this seat and have felt similarly about Lamar Jackson, to say that if John would have taken the Miami job or the Green Bay job, that this job wouldn't have been all that attractive to say, well, you have a quarterback. Because I'm not sure any of us believe we have a quarterback.
Don't. Do you have a quarterback? You have a tremendously talented quarterback and a great young man. Great. Good young leader.
Yeah.
Super young leader. Super tough guy. Super tough. Real good football player. A really good quarterback. He's just not there yet. So you made the playoffs with him. You're going to make the playoffs with Lamar Jackson, okay? You're going to make the playoffs. I'm not ready to say you're going to win a Super Bowl yet. I'm not there yet. But you have a Super Bowl championship head coach who has championship football left in him. I think John Harbaugh, I think the world of John Harbaugh, I think everybody in the NFL thinks the world of John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is going to win another Super Bowl in Baltimore. He is going to. It's trending down in Pittsburgh. It's not there yet in Cleveland. We've got a new head coach in Cleveland. Cincinnati, we know what we're going to get. So you're going to win the division. You're going to win the division 3 out of the next 4 years in Baltimore. You're going to win 11, 12 games. You got to get yourself a home playoff game. Oh, we lost it. Did I knock that off?
Sal knocked it off the table. It's fine.
I was pounding the table
for John Harbaugh.
Pounding the Philly special.
You're gonna
hilarious.
You're gonna win the division, and you're gonna go to a Super Bowl with John Harbaugh, and Lamar Jackson will eventually be there.
Here's what we'll do. I'm just gonna hold the camera up.
Yeah, here I am.
Sal, say goodbye.
I gotta go.
All right, there he goes.
The book's the Philly special.
Oh yeah, hold the book up.
Thanks for having me.
I know there's
a lot of Eagles fans on that I-95 corridor.
It looks like a crime show when I do this. It looks like there's Luke, there's Nestor. Sal has left the building.
Thanks, Sal.
We'll take a break. We're back for more from Radio Row, WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore. See you, Sal.
Bye-bye.
All right, there he goes.